you support an access without fear policy?
I'm not sure what that is.
It's other cities call it a sanctuary city policy. It's the idea that the city staff will simply not ask questions around somebody's citizenship in order to ask questions, even casual questions of like, oh, where are you from, or something like that. That for accessing city services, that
yeah, I don't think
it's city services.
I don't think it's important for the city to be asking those questions.
Okay.
Yes. Why? Because, you know, it's the area I've worked in. You know, I was the only mayor in the country when I was elected that ever started a refugee insurance program. That was kind of unique. No one else has done it. I think that demonstrates a level of commitment. Certainly none of the other mayoralty candidates can hold a candle to the kind of work that we did. As a matter of fact, a couple of them were on council during and voted against it. Why it's important is, so one of the things in 2006 in my living room, I started an organization with 7 friends called Rainbow Railroad. We did it with passing the hat. I paid for it, much of it out of my own pocket, as did my friends. And we started creating an underground railroad network in countries where gay, lesbian, transgender, queer people were being killed and hunted down by their governments, which was sadly too many countries. And we created this underground railroad, much like the one that came out of the Deep South for Black people. And we got a lot of queer folks out of countries like Iran. We managed to get about 50 or 60 out of Chechnya when they set up death camps, Uganda, even Jamaica, where there were huge problems and people were being hunted down in that country.
Would you support an access without fear policy?
No.
No. Okay.
Yes, I would. One of the commitments I released in a platform document is the creation of an intercultural policy within city government. And so the narrative of multiculturalism here in Canada is a misnomer, I believe. The difference between intercultural services compared to multicultural services is interculturalism is about understanding how our different perspectives, cultures work together and build relationships between diverse ranges of citizens. And so in intercultural services will address the working in silos that cultural organizations keep on perpetuating.
Well, first of all, as mayor, and I can appreciate it's easy for perhaps me to say on this side of the camera, as mayor of Winnipeg, I would want to make sure everyone feels confident and free to please call 911, for example, when there's an emergency, and just have the confidence that they would get the response that they need. This is something I'd be certainly, willing to dialogue with more and understand more where the gaps are and where the need is, and what work the city can do to make sure that all of our all of our residents, regardless of status, feel confident in accessing city services. So I'd be looking forward to more discussion and more understanding of it.
Yes, I will. I will support an access without fear. Because when I become the next mayor, I believe we need to get the fact of what prompts people not to have immigration status. And I can give you a lot of examples. So it's not that maybe some people, they are bad guys, it's just, it could be some circumstances. I know a guy, his parents, I think maybe died, and he could not support himself. He wasn't able to renew his permit and some others. This is a true life story I'm just giving you. And, that one is fair enough. And some things can happen. But I'm not saying that, we should encourage something that is not good. But the point is we need to get facts. And when we get facts, we should just support everyone deserves, to be heard. And we have to be fair. And we have to figure out how we can get the document back. So I'm 100% in support of that.
Yes, and I'm looking forward to meeting them next week, I believe. Yeah, really looking forward to that.
Capital Y-E-S.
Can you say why? Just so people understand why you find it's important.
Well, I just think we have to shift the table here from blaming people or having suspicions and just seeing potential in each other, and just having our institutions greet people as human beings that have so much to offer the city. And there's, you can see the city just being one big circle and asking ourselves, well, people who are standing outside the circle, why? And what are the barriers preventing them from being a full participant and joining the circle? And so, I think having the access without fear policy is important. And certainly need to engage the community on how to train employees of the city to make sure that it's just not something the mayor can say. Like, we all have to be trained on how to do that. I don't profess to be an expert on that, but I certainly think we should just make sure civil servants are offering services in an open, inviting way, and other levels of government have their job to do, but I don't think we need to stick our noses in that.
Yeah, I am aware of it, and I think it's excellent. And I think in some of the conversations that I've had with my neighbors in this particular area downtown is once I hear some of the places that they're coming from and why they're coming to Winnipeg, they are coming from some very traumatic situations.
Yeah.
And so they already, well, first of all, we don't want to continue any trauma. We want to make sure that it's easy for them to access services and to change their, to change the life and have the life that they want to have now. But that can also, where they're coming from, can also be a barrier to thinking about accessing services here. Preconceived notion about how they're going to be received. And if you are received in that way, it'll only reinforce what your thought process is. And so we need to make sure that we need to make sure, first of all, every city employee make sure that we treat people as people first. We offer respect, we offer dignity. We don't judge anything they may tell us, or and then we just do whatever we can to help and make their transition to life as a Winnipegger as easy as possible. Because again, that will help them realize that there is a great opportunity here for them personally, but also make them want to stay here in Winnipeg too.
Thanks.
Yeah.
The other one is just, it's like if you're somebody with with an issue with your status, if someone asks you like,
Right.
that, it's like, they're gonna ask me for my papers. So like that's what we're really getting at with the
Yeah.
idea. It's like,
Okay. Oops, sorry.
a policy for the city that says no city employee will ask anybody their status.
Yeah, makes complete sense to me. I'm going to say that will be a very difficult thing to implement. But yes, that is certainly something that should be policy in the city. The training is going to be, because we have to change our language, and sometimes, like you said, when you said that just now, it makes a lot of sense to me. And like even myself, you'd have to rethink what you just said and say like, I want to be a person who's not judging or seeming like I'm judging, but that I just ask it in a certain way that is. And I think we have to start being, we have to be self-aware enough not to look at what we just said and to make sure that we can correct our language in the future. And that makes a ton of sense.